Yo, how's it going? So, for anyone who has not watched my latest video, I'm going through a breakup at the moment, which sucks. That's not what this video is about. So, if you've come here for that, sorry to disappoint, but I'm not going to talk about it online. So, that's not what this video is. Going to get that out of there now. But obviously, you know, that kind of thing is quite sad, so I wanted to like make this to counter that almost. Like, reminiscing on some of the funny or just dumb moments from my relationship history. You know, just having a laugh about it, because it's nicer than just being sad. Also, obviously, I've not done an episode of Just Even Things for about 5-6 months, so, you know, 2 birds, 1 stone. Yeah, so, we're doing this. John, that's the second time I've done the intro, and I think I did it even worse that time, but I've already deleted the first one, so fuck it, we just get on with the video. It should just be called Dumb Shit, because this is the majority of what it's going to be. So I've been in 6 relationships, so I'm going to go like one by one through all of them and tell like a story from each. So, yeah. So the first girl that I dated was called Hannah. I was 15 at the time. Now, I'd not been in a relationship. I'd had crushes on people, it hadn't obviously worked out. Otherwise it would have been my first relationship. But let's just say I was a little nervous. We'd been talking for a little while, all of our friends knew. From our friends' point of view, like, it must have been really obvious and just like waiting for it to actually happen and be like official. But I was still super nervous. We were talking after school one day. I knew it was the moment to ask the question, but I was so fucking nervous that I just couldn't. She obviously registered the fact that I was super nervous and I wasn't going to ask. So she asked me to sort of save the awkwardness of the moment to actually make the thing happen. Now that's awkward enough in itself, but it gets worse. See, my response is something that I've told a couple of people in the past just because it's fucking hilarious and very me. It's something I look back on with utter embarrassment, but not in a bad way, in a kind of, okay, that's fucking awful, 15-year-old me. A, look how far I've come, and B, fucking hell man, like, it's just, I can't help but laugh at myself. My response, ladies and gentlemen, yes, please. Yep, that's how I got into my first relationship. Yes, please. Oh, I'm so gonna regret putting that online. So, on to relationship number 2. I don't want to go through it like a list and it'd be like, so this was number 1, this is number 2, but for just the format of this video and telling the stories, I'm gonna go through them sort of that order, so forgive the impersonalness of that. My second girlfriend was a girl called Charlotte, who was also when I was 15, and one of my best friends is called Seb. At the time we were really good mates and we talk a lot, and the 3 of us would talk a lot. Me, him and Charlotte. In fact, we had a group chat of the 3 of us. We'd spend time together as a 3 at school as well. It wasn't to the point where like we'd meet up on weekends and he'd be there too. It wasn't quite that extreme, but like we spent a lot of time together. As like a joke. I can't remember the actual context of the joke, but the 3 of us were hanging out at school and I ended up kissing him. On the cheek, but kissing him. Like, to jokingly piss her off. But then, like, you know, the joke was on me when 2 weeks after I broke up with her, she was confessing how she was in love with him. Ha, 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 ha. It all worked out fine in the end. My third girlfriend isn't really one that I've spoken about much. A lot of my friends, like, I've spoken to about her, but none of my family, so yeah, at the time it wasn't really something that I spoke about, and then afterwards it always was weird to just sort of bring it up, if that makes sense. I dated a girl called Beth for about 3 weeks. I guess the kind of funny story in this sense is kind of in itself. I count it because to me it still happened and it still mattered and it's still, you know, a thing that is part of my life. It doesn't tick all of the boxes of everyone's criteria of whatever, I don't really care. It still matters to me, I'm still going to count it, so yeah, I was 16 at the time. We didn't actually meet while we were together because she lives up in Birmingham, which was, you know, a smart idea. Yeah, you know. And in fairness, in my defense, I did plan to try and like go up there and meet her at some point or meet like part way. But yeah, I soon realised that 130 miles is kind of a long way, especially when you're 16. But we are friends now, so that's cool. I was single for a while after that, but then I started dating a girl called Emmy when I was 17. I wasn't entirely honest with my family with the Emmy situation. We've since talked about this, and it's kind of okay. They were kind of pissed at me, but I kind of understand. Basically, I met Emmy online, we started talking, and met shortly afterwards, one thing became another, and we started dating. That's not the story that I told my family. What I said to my family was that me, James, Seb and Joe, who were my sort of 3 best friends at the time, were going all the way over to Kent for reasons unknown, when there are loads of shopping centres that are much easier to go to Bluewater for the day. And then while we were there, I happened to bump into someone, get talking, and so on. What actually happened was I travelled over there for 2 hours to an area of the country I'd never been to before, to meet up with someone that I'd never met before. Which I'd just like to take this opportunity to be like, don't not try this at home. Like, if you find yourself in that situation, I wouldn't say, no, you absolutely can't do that, like, this is, you're gonna die. Because you're not, if you're smart about it. Like, you know, meet somewhere that's visible and there's lots of people around and you can easily get away if things do go badly. Let people know what you're doing. Like, my friends knew where I was and stuff like that, in case anything went wrong. And also, obviously, like, things like Skype or Snapchat and that kind of thing, like some kind of video conversation or, like, conversation where it's more difficult to fake. 3 relatively easy things that you can use. On my way back, I got on the wrong train. See, I read Victoria, but in my brain I read Vauxhall. Now Vauxhall is quite basic, there's no like shops or anything like that, it's just platform after platform with an underground station. Victoria is one of the sort of kind of big complexes of stations in London, like Waterloo or St Pancras, where there's shops and food outlets, tube stations, and like 18 platforms. So I get off and there are trains everywhere and there's shops and stuff, and I'm like, where the fuck am I? Also at this point, I'm supposed to be with 3 of my best friends, so I can't really say anything to my parents without getting loads of shit. And also realised that I have about 10% battery and no internet. There are very few points in my life where I've been quite that much like, oh god, I've seriously fucked this up. Which got worse when I went up to one of the guards and I was like, oh, hey, which platform is it for Weybridge? And he turned around and was like, where's Weybridge? And I'm just like, oh, fuck. Fortunately, I was able to come to my senses, find Clapham Junction, because Clapham Junction goes everywhere, and was able to get home fine. It was very much a learning experience for me. I was a lot more confident when travelling in London because that had happened and I made it out okay, so what could go wrong? That's a very dangerous thing to say, but the point still stands. So after I meet, while I was at uni, I dated a girl called Kira. I was 18 at the time. I found out during this relationship that I sleep talk, which is something that I knew my brother did because we used to share a room, but I didn't know that I ever did. Apparently I do. So there was one day that she stayed over at mine, and when we woke up, she was talking to me about how I had been sleep talking in the night, and I'll try and recreate roughly what she told me had happened. It was something along the lines of, yeah, science. What are you going to do with that? Tiny piece. Tiny piece. She waited to describe it to me till we were walking through a shopping centre packed with people and just like, yeah, he kept mumbling tiny pea. Oh man, I'm going to regret that when I'm editing it and watching it back, just me going tiny pea. And that obviously leads me on to my most recent relationship, which obviously I was 19 for, and there's a story from that which at the time made me feel less sad about something, so I'll share it now because hopefully it'll make me feel less sad. She was a big fan of a YouTuber called iDubbbz, who she kind of forced me to watch, and now I'm quite a fan of. But yeah, and there's a thing that iDubbbz does, he drops down and says something in a particular voice, one of them being that he'll drop down and be like, I'm gay.
Jump down, and then say some fucking gay shit. I'm gay.
The last time we met up, while we were still together, and so as we're saying goodbye and stuff and hugging at the train station, my train pulls up and I'm like, oh shit, I've got to go. And for some reason in my brain it triggered there's something that would make me laugh, and hopefully I laugh and just break the sadness at the moment of saying goodbye. And so I jumped onto the train. I was just like, I'm gay. And that was obviously funny in the moment, and it made me laugh, and it made her laugh as well. Unfortunately, she broke up with me before we met up again, which means that technically speaking, the last thing that I said to her in person while we were in a relationship was I'm gay. And that brings me up to date. Date. Nice pun. Hopefully it made you guys laugh. It certainly made me laugh, and I'm sure it will again while I'm editing it. Whatever the current situation is, obviously some of it's still ongoing, some of it is very much in the past. some positive, some negative. It's nice to reminisce and just have a laugh. If you did enjoy it, then obviously feel free to leave a like, comment. If you're new, then subscribe.